The Powercode BMU is essentially a router that talks to our software, and it allows you to perform rate limiting on your customer's connection to the internet, and it does that based on the customer's internet service. And you can either see the speeds that they're set at in the services page in Powercode, or you can actually see them right down here in the usage box. In addition, the BMU will act as a DHCP server, and it'll also perform SNMP monitoring, which it then graphs in Powercode. And we'll have a separate video that'll cover how to create those probes and how to use those graphs. Now, the last part of what the BMU can do is referred to as an HTTP redirect. And it does that when the customer is either late in the bill, or in this case, it's doing it because there's a contract queued on their account. So as far as being later in the bill is concerned, to really know what that means, we have to look at an individual customer, and it's not always easy divining what the actual grace period end date is. So instead of having you look through these different settings and figure it out, we just created this field, delinquency date, and it tells you if they don't make a payment by this time, they're going to get turned to a delinquent status. Now, when the customer is set to a delinquent status, it basically pushes them over to a page and does not allow them access to the internet. And that page looks just like this. So your company name will be on there, your phone number, and also links to get to the customer portal, because if the customer goes into the portal and pays the bill that they're late on, then the system will recognize that, immediately turn their status back to active, and allow them back onto the internet. And again, in the case of this particular example, there is a contract queued in the account. So it'll redirect them to port 446 on your server, which is a version of the customer portal login. Same credentials as the normal portal, but when they complete the login, it'll just bring them directly to the page with the contract displayed, and they can sign it. And once done, again, that redirect will be lifted and they'll be allowed back onto the internet. So now, knowing all of this, the real question is, what about people that I want to make sure this never ever happens to? Business customers being a really good example. So there is a method in Powercode referred to as whitelisting. And to enact that method, we need to go to Network and BMU Overview. And then for whatever BMU we're looking at, we need to look at the IP addresses that we've assigned to that BMU. So here we see all my different subnets, and then we see that there's a column here for whitelist. Most of them are set to no, but we do have one that is set to yes. So if I edit that to take a look at some of the settings here, we see that whitelisting is enabled, and the tooltip is just saying if there's a device in this range and whitelisting is enabled, then regardless of any reason the BMU would stop their traffic, it's just going to let them through. So for business customers especially, we would want to have whitelisting enabled so that they never get turned to a delinquent status and redirected. We can kind of handle that bill on our own and not cause that frustration for them. So that's the BMU in a nutshell, and some of the features that go along with it. And again, keep a lookout for that other video that'll be coming out shortly regarding SNMP monitoring and probe template creation. Thanks, and have a great day.